Okay, we're going to talk about exponential growth and decay. This is a throwback essentially to pre-calculus, but it pops up on the AP exam. So let's take a trip down memory lane, shall we? So we're going to be able to identify growth and decay problems and be able to solve them. Okay, which is with. Growth refers to exponential growth. And I mean, I'm going to have a bunch of different forms of the same equation in here. But, you know, for an exponential equation, the base has to be, well, the absolute value of the base, well, if it's growth, a has to be greater than 1. Okay, this guy right here. And this is your initial amount. Okay, decay means that it's decreasing over time. So then a would fall between 0 and 1. So applications to this, we have bacterial or population growth, half-life decay problems, you know, chemistry, compound interest, spreading disease. So keywords, population, radioactive decay, Newton's law of cooling, and there's one differential equation that says it all. So I'm going to derive that lovely formula you saw on the other page for you. So the derivative of y with respect to t is equal to some proportionality constant k times y. Now, if I separate the variables, that's how we're going to get to y as a function of x, which in this case is t, whatever. Anyway, so now over here, I'm going to separate the variables. So I cross multiply. Okay, cross multiply because this is a proportion. And the k goes with the dt. And then what I'm not showing is I divided the y to the other side. And you know, if you integrate this, okay, the integral of 1 over y is the ln of the absolute value of y, and over here I have k times t plus c. Okay, we only put the constant on one side. Now, to get the y out of there, you have to write it as an exponential function. So technically it's plus or minus, okay, because it's an absolute value equation, because if the absolute value of y is equal to e to the kt plus c, then you have a, what's that again? A piecewise function. Absolute value function is a piecewise function, and that's supposed to say y. So my y looks a little hurt. But anyway, I dropped the plus or minus because it really doesn't matter at this point. We're just speaking generally. So how does this go to this? Well, this is just using laws of exponents, right? If I have x to the 3 times x squared, they have the same base, right? So I know that I add my exponents. Okay, let me just take it back another step. I have x to the 2 plus 3, which gives you x to the 5th. So we're just going in the reverse direction here. So we're starting with this scenario right here. And then we're going back to this. And that's how we write it like this. Because, you know, the laws of exponents is they have the same base, you add the exponents. So I would get kt plus c for the exponent for e. Anyway, e to the c is just another constant. Okay, so we can just replace e to the c with a big old c. Okay, so that's what I'm saying right here. Let me erase this so I could have all my lovely work come up in the PowerPoint. And so we say y is equal to some constant c times e to the k x. I just swapped out the t with an x, so don't freak out, okay? Because we always think of y as a function of x. Whatever, if you want to put t in there, go ahead with your bad self. Anyway, so let's try an example. A population of bacteria doubles in 20 minutes. How long will it take for it to triple in size? Well, where's the differential equation? So P is the size of any population at a time t, and then P grows at a rate proportional to itself. So that's how we say that the rate of the population growth is some constant k times P. All right. And then we saw how we differentiate that. We separate it and we end up with this lovely equation for this model for continuous exponential growth. So notice that C, let me just write this again. It was P is equal to C times E to the KT. So C is the initial amount. It's always your starting amount. And then K is your proportionality constant, which is dependent on the problem, unique to the situation. Okay, and P is the population size at any time T. All right, so if you think about it, C ends up being your initial value when t is 0. So I'll show that to you right here. So if I plug in 0 for t, p of 0, that means I plug in 0 here. I end up with e to the 0. And e to the 0 is just 1, so I end up with c. So at time t equals 0, c is equal to your initial amount. Okay? Now, always make sure you ask, what do we know? What are we looking for? To be continued.